Hi everyone, welcome to another e-commerce Espresso. My name's Zach, I'm from LoyaltyLion, and this is the webinar that is shorter than your coffee break. Now, if it's your first time with e-commerce Espresso, we don't do a Q&A at the end. However, if you have any questions for me or for today's guest, you can tweet at us at LoyaltyLionHQ using the hashtag e-commerce Espresso. So let's jump straight in before our coffees get too cold. Today, I'm joined by Tom Goodwin from Reviews.io. Tom, could you tell me a little bit about yourself and a bit more about Reviews.io?
Oh, thank you, Zach. Thanks for the opportunity. And yeah, my name is Tom Goodwin. I'm the COO of Reviews.io. And yeah, so Reviews.io, we've been around just over 10 years. We're a Google licensed platform. We like to consider ourselves as sort of the challenger brands within the review feedback sort of integration and solution market. And yeah, we've got just over 6,000 clients globally, with offices in head office in the UK, with offices in Berlin, also in California and Sydney. So yeah, and yeah, look forward to chatting today.
Oh, so do I, and amazing to be. I'm sure the weather's a bit nicer in Sydney than it is in London today. Oh, I hope it is. Well, why don't we just jump straight into our first question then? Looking back at 2020, what a year. What trends should merchants be thinking about going forward, particularly in building trust and generating reviews?
I think one of the things that I suppose the things that we've seen in 2020, just generally the way that people are using feedback and reviews within the way that they're leveraging their brand and their brand trust, and social proof. It's being able to really share that customer feedback across your different marketing channels, and really leveraging both your brand and the trust of your brand with using your customer's voice. And yeah, that's one of the really exciting things we've seen, and certainly we've developed a unique feature to allow our customers to be able to do that really quickly and easily. Right.
I mean, there's that level, pardon me, that level of enrichment of reviews as well. We're seeing that user-generated content and reviews in building trust kind of across the whole purchase cycle, and it's become so key to businesses building trust. Just to kind of build on that idea a little bit, what are some of the key moments that brands should be asking for reviews or looking to build trust with their customers?
I suppose the key moments are it's during that post-purchase cycle. So it's really making sure what's the sort of, I suppose, the happiest point in that post-purchase, and it's different, I suppose, for whether you're a service related brand or whether you're a product related brand, and subject to delivery cycles, if it's a pre-order product, lots of different things. It's really finding that point in that journey that really helps identify that happy point, and actually then requesting that review at that point. And in sort of bricks and mortar in store environment, it may be using our app or something like that, and really creating the moment, at a collection point or something like that. And that's something that we're finding. It's just different brands have those different sort of happy moments, I suppose, and different unique times to collect that review.
I love that as just a really simple thing to keep in mind, the happy moment. Find that happy moment with the customer. When are they going to be, most joyful? Is it going to be when they've opened the product? Is it straight after the order if you've got a terrific online user experience, or is it a couple of weeks after they've been using it? If it's, as you said, like if it's a service, it might not be that immediacy of installing something, but after they've gone through the onboarding and after they've set up and kept going, maybe there's a good time to ask for a review. So really thinking about your user journey and finding that happy place sounds like, that's a great reflection on the big trend of 2020. Why don't we jump into our second question then? What advice can you give brands who are trying to increase the quality of their reviews?
I think one of the main things there is really making sure that the way that you're requesting a review, the way you're asking for that review during the feedback journey, that it's personalized, it's on brand, it's making sure that it's not generic. It doesn't feel like it's a last minute thought. It's like we've done all our bit, we've delivered you the product. Oh, by the way, will you review our product? It's really making sure that it's an extension of that customer communication, that journey, that post-purchase experience. And really looking at the way that's done as well is that it's really, it's setting up multiple sort of A/B testing it and looking at looking at what converts the best. Is it a direct message from the founder of the business? Does it come from the founder of the business? Does it come from somebody who's very much involved in the customer experience? Is it thinking about that whole, I suppose, that whole sort of journey and the best way that the consumer or the customers will actually see that. And I think it's also just being able to, there's lots of clever tools out there as well that help sort of really identify that. And so, Klaviyo is something that we work closely with, and our integrations we integrate with. But, there's lots of tools out there, but it's actually being able to really personalize that post-purchase experience as well. It's not just, we send the same review request or that feedback request to everybody. It might be part of a multi-touch sort of post-purchase communication.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the idea of personalizing those kinds of requests makes it feel like less of a request. You can embed those kinds of those asks, and you're not really, you're encouraging them to share a positive experience, as opposed to just saying like, "Hey, go and leave a review," as you said, and using the other tools in your marketing tech stack to personalize those messages. You know a lot about your customers, so why not embed that in your requests? I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we see, obviously, from LoyaltyLion's perspective, using your loyalty program as an opportunity to personalize those reviews makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say that, integrations like we have with yourselves, LoyaltyLion, is such an important part of that post-purchase experience. And the way that can be, heavily personalized around the brand and what the brand sort of ethos comes out, and adding that loyalty aspect in, it's a really important part of that. And that's why obviously we enjoy the relationship we have with yourselves.
Yeah, well, thank you. We enjoy our relationship with you as well. It's what we've seen is brands have such success when they encourage reviews with points, or encouraging users to enrich those reviews with video, with images. Something more than just giving a star rating is always a way that makes those reviews a little bit more reliable, trustworthy. Do you have building on that trust aspect and kind of increasing the quality of reviews? There's often concerns from merchants around what about bad reviews? What about customers who have bad experiences? Can you tell us a little bit more about brands should be concerned about poor reviews, or is there an opportunity there to make the brand more trustworthy in those instances?
Yeah, I think from our perspective, and when we're talking to our customers, is customers are very wary around implied perfection. We're not perfect. No one is perfect. As much as we aspire to be perfect, there is always outside influences. There's always things that can affect a review, and whether that be a bad review. And we've obviously just coming through and still in extremely unique times with where there's been huge effects on delivery and couriers and all of those sort of things. So we're fully aware that brands have sometimes received negative reviews, not always within their control. But I think there's a myth around not displaying negative reviews. And I think for me, it really being able to show that as a brand you're real, that you made mistakes, and being able to actually show that you've dealt with those problems and replying to those and showing those replies. Because a customer, particularly if it's a higher value item, they will go out and they will look for negative reviews. So if they go onto your product page and all they're seeing is 5-star reviews, then that implied perfection is the customers are wary of that. And I think it's important that the way you should deal with negative reviews is that, ensuring you always reply to them, and particularly as a public reply, so those prospects in the future can really get a feel of how, as a brand, you're dealing with those problems, and actually, displaying them in a way that works for your brand. Not every way is the same for everybody, but I think this only showing perfection it makes customers very wary.
Yeah, I mean, that's a terrific way of putting it. It can put customers off. Hadn't really thought about it that way, but they are another opportunity, right, to show brand values, to show that, you know, your team's active, responsive, or responsible as well, caring, all these kinds of these things that show that your brand is more than just the logo that it's and the products, that there's people behind it as well. Reviews are that two-way touch point, and it's not just one way. And it's something that I know that Reviews.io works really hard on, encouraging that back and forth, and encouraging the kind of the user-generated content, not just for making sure that users are making stuff that service the brand all the time, but making sure that the brand and the customers are sharing a community together, and that new customers can see that. New customers will come in and say, oh, I can see that this brand talks to its customers have a great response to that brand, and then they're creating something together, which I think is really powerful. Why don't we jump into our last question, which is, beyond rewarding points, can you share any innovative examples of merchants using their loyalty program to generate more reviews?
Yeah, you know, it's always interesting when you sort of look at, you know, our customer base, and I suppose one of the examples I thought of today was actually a client. Box Raw is a great client of ours. You know, they're apparel clothing brand that specializes within sort of the boxing community. Really powerful brand, has had huge success. And, you know, I know that they you know, fully utilize both our platform and your platform. And I think, you know, using loyalty in the way of creating sort of this exclusive partnership element, you know, really making sure that they're creating ambassadors of their products and influencers of their products. So allowing customers to have access to exclusive product drops, private sales, things like that around, you know, and you're just identifying those early adopters of a product and sort of embracing them in that. And I think, you know, doing those sort of pre-event purchases, product drop type things, I think is really clever. And I know that's something, you know, your platform it works really well with as well.
I think that's a great point. That almost seeding the market with product reviews and product use pre-launch is such an interesting idea, and building the exclusivity around products and using that as an opportunity to extend the messaging out into the market on new products is something we've seen a lot of our clients have success with, creating those premium tiers as well. We see a lot of our customers use tiers in their programs to help move customers through and have a better, improved experience as they spend more and as they start to engage more with the brand. And that can often come through giving reviews and creating user-generated content and spreading, you know, those happy times that they've had with the brands. And as you said right at the beginning, finding that time when the customer's happiest is the time when you can incentivize them to create content, share reviews, and share what, you know, their best part of their experience and the best part of the product as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, you know, it really creates a lot of authentic UGC, you know, around, you know, where it really encourages, you know, what we're seeing a lot of, particularly with our video reviews, which is, you know, the popularity of our video reviews has been, you know, phenomenal during COVID. I mean, it's the way that, you know, everyone wants to be their own influencer now, and they create these, you know, with the technology that's available in your phone now, being allowed to sort of create that unique content and be able to share it with the brand and tag the brand into it, and all of those things. I think we know that combined with identifying those early adopters of your brand as well, I think it really helps.
Yeah, all that dynamic review content coming up pre-purchase. I mean, it's something that utilizing that kind of content throughout the whole customer journey as opposed to just on a product page. Do you think that's important as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's something we offer certainly with our Klaviyo integration, and being able to put dynamic content into that pre-purchase communication to customers. You know, being able to actually, you know, it's not just about showcasing a product, but it's actually showcasing that social proof around that product as well. That the fact is, you know, there's customers out there that are really endorsing and embracing that product, and being able to share that with future in that pre-purchase journey is proved to be really popular.
Yeah, I love that word, endorse. It's something we don't hear enough of. Endorse and embrace the product. Help customers find their happy place and get them to endorse and embrace the product. I really love that. What a great sentiment. What a great sentiment to finish that off, actually. that's unfortunately all the time we have today, and it brings us to the end of this edition of E-commerce Espresso. I found heaps of valuable, great ideas from you, Tom, and I'm sure everybody else has as well. As always, we'll be sharing this on-demand recording, so don't worry if you feel like you've missed something. And look, Tom, thanks again so much for joining us as today's guest speaker. And if you have,
thank you very much.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Remember, if you have any questions for either Reviews.io or LoyaltyLion, you can tweet at us at LoyaltyLionHQ or just tweet generally with the hashtag #eCommerceEspresso. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, it's Molly here from LoyaltyLion. I hope you enjoyed this episode of E-commerce Espresso. The time to be ready for the seasonal shopping period is here. To get you prepped, I've been creating the Peak 2020 pack, covering everything you need for Q4 success. It includes an infographic containing new consumer insights around the holidays, a quick guide full of tips and strategies, and the Peak 2020 score sheet to double check you've not missed any tricks. Download the pack for free at loyaltylion.com/peak2020. I hope to see you online again soon.